The last year that we have gone through has been in so many ways the very worst year in our lifetimes. That's what it has been. The working families of our country today are hurting in a way that they have not heard since the Great Depression, and they want their government to hear their pain and come to their aid. And they are asking, does anybody in Washington care about their lives? And here is the simple truth, and that is that in the richest country in the history of the world, we can no longer tolerate millions of our workers being unable to feed their families because they are working for starvation wages. Madam President, I am introducing legislation, an amendment today to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour. Now, this is not a radical idea. People want it, states have done it, the House of Representatives have done it, and now it is our turn to do what the American people want. When we increase the minimum wage, we will be giving over 32 million Americans a much-needed pay raise. This legislation will help workers all across the board, but it will significantly help women who are unfortunately forced into low-income work more than the general population, more than men, and it will disproportionately help African Americans and Latinos who disproportionately are forced into low-income work. It is not acceptable to me that half of our people live in paycheck to paycheck and millions of people are trying to get by on $9, $10, $11 an hour. And you know what? You can't do that. You can't do that in Vermont, and you can't do it in California, you can't do it in Minnesota. You can't do that. And our job is to make sure that we have an economy that works for all and not just the few. And that in order to do that, we are going to have to raise that minimum wage to $15 an hour. So what today is about in a very profound way is whether or not we stand with the working class of this country. That we say, yes, we live in a democratic society. We understand what you are going through, and we're going to move as aggressively as we can to respond to your pain and improve your lives. American people are reaching out to us, and they're saying, we are hurting. People are hurting, and in a democratic society, government is supposed to respond to the people who sent us here. It's not just dealing with the worst moment in the modern history of this country. This amendment, this legislation, has everything to do with restoring the confidence of the American people in democracy and in their government. And if we can't respond to the pain of working families today, we don't deserve to be here. So Senator Graham said it's going to be a long night. Bring it on. We're ready. But at the end of the day, we are going to do what the American people want, what the American people need. We're going to pass the American Rescue Plan.